The goal of philosophy of the invisible is to enhance the individual and his or her inner autonomy. We also live in our dreams. We don't just exist during the day. Sometimes we perform our greatest deeds in dreams. But what are dreams really? Are they the result of random brain activity or a side effect of the mind consolidating memories? Are they, as Sigmund Freud suggested, the expression of repressed desires and impulses? Or is there something deeper, richer, and more meaningful about dreams that eludes modern perception? Carl Gustav Jung believed there was much more to them, and in this video, we'll explore why dreams are so vital to mental and physical health, and how the art of dream interpretation can revitalize our lives. Only in modern times has the dream, this ephemeral and seemingly insignificant product of the psyche, met with such profound contempt, wrote Jung. In the past, it was considered a herald of fate, an omen and a comfort, a messenger of the gods. Today, it is recognized as an emissary of the unconscious, charged with revealing the secrets hidden from consciousness, a task it carries out with astonishing completeness. Dream interpretation was an essential part of Jung's therapeutic approach. By his own estimates, he analyzed no fewer than 80,000 dreams. In his seminar on the subject, Jung argued that dreams are messages sent by the unconscious, and to grasp their meaning, it is necessary to understand Jung's conception of the unconscious psyche. In a 1934 lecture, Jung wrote that consciousness can be compared to a ship sailing the vast sea of the unconscious. A ship's fate is partly determined by the activity of the sea. Similarly, the direction of our lives is profoundly influenced by the unconscious. Moreover, just as the sea holds resources, treasures, and dangers invisible from the surface, the unconscious also harbors potential for both good and harm. Psychological development, according to Jung, is facilitated by bringing unconscious contents to the light of consciousness, as this enriches the conscious personality, increases self-knowledge, and promotes psychic integrity. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making darkness conscious, Jung wrote. More than any other phenomenon, dreams can facilitate this process, as they serve as a window into the unconscious mind. As Jung explained, dreams are a spontaneous representation in symbolic form of the real situation present in the unconscious. Dreams are, in a specific sense, the expression of the unconscious. Paying attention to one's dreams, and through them, making the unconscious conscious, brings numerous benefits. Among these, the possibility that dreams contain insights that we are incapable or unwilling to see in waking life. In sleep, the psyche expresses itself through symbols that reveal aspects hidden from waking consciousness. Dreams can disclose latent intuitions, unspoken perceptions, and unconscious dynamics that limit growth. They thus offer a key channel for exploring the personality's hidden areas and deepening our understanding of inner processes. This ability of dreams to reveal knowledge inaccessible to waking consciousness is what, throughout history, has led to dreams being considered truthful oracles. Jung argued that the unconscious is the dark being that hears what our conscious ears cannot perceive and sees what our conscious eyes do not perceive. We notice this hidden listening only when the unconscious delivers forgotten images through dreams. These visions provide insight into both the psyche and the body's condition, revealing imbalances before they become visible as symptoms. As Jungian psychoanalyst James Hall explains, it's not at all easy to arrive at organic diagnoses based on dream material, although there are striking examples. The dream of an internal explosion preceded the rupture of an aortic aneurysm. The appearance of dream figures with gallbladder disease preceded the dreamer's clinical diagnosis, and so on. Dreams can warn us of the future shaped by our mistakes. They announce situations long before they occur, not as miracles, but because crises grow unnoticed by the conscious mind. Jung reported a prime example of this type of dream. A colleague of his, an amateur mountaineer, told him he had dreamed of climbing a mountain. The higher he climbed, the better he felt. Once he reached the summit, he wanted to keep going, so he took a step into the void and suddenly woke up. Jung intuitively perceived that the dream was a warning from the unconscious. She begged him to exercise extreme caution on future climbs, or even to avoid them altogether, but the man ignored her advice. 3 months later, during a climb, a guide saw him literally take a step into the void, falling on top of his friend below. Both were tragically shattered on the cliff. Dreams also play a fundamental role in the creative process. The history of philosophy, science, art, and literature is littered with examples where great creations and discoveries were inspired by dreams. The Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev received the correct arrangement of the elements according to atomic weight in a dream. Augustus Kekulé saw the ring structure of benzene in a dream. The thematic core of the novel, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, appeared to Robert Louis Stevenson in a dream. Carl Jung himself stated that all his highest insights arose in dreams. He wrote, "Ultimately, the only events in my life worth recounting are inner experiences, among which I include dreams and visions. They represent the first matter of my scientific work. They were the incandescent magma from which the stone that needed to be worked crystallized." Dreams also have the ability to free us from an overly narrow worldview and an excessively banal daily existence. Dreams that fulfill this function are sometimes called big dreams. Big dreams are memorable experiences that shape our lives. They carry spiritual meaning, offer profound insights, and transform our perception of ourselves and the world. Regarding the nature of big dreams, Swiss psychologist Marie-Louise von Franz writes, "Sometimes one has a dream so distant from one's own life, so numinous." Numinous was Jung's favorite word for intensely moving experiences, so strange and disturbing that it doesn't seem to belong to the dreamer. It's like a visit from another world, and indeed it is. That other world is the subterranean realm of the unconscious. In ancient times, and still today in some cultures, such dreams are considered divine messages or messages from ancestral figures. Jung called them great dreams. He recounted a particularly striking dream he had in 1944, shortly after suffering a heart attack that nearly cost him his life. In the dream, he was in the wilderness and came across an ancient chapel. Upon entering, he saw a yogi sitting in the lotus position, deep in meditation. Jung continues, "As I looked at him more carefully, I realized he had my face. I was astonished and awoke with the thought, 'Aha, it is he who is meditating on me. He is dreaming, and I am his dream.' I knew that when he awoke, I would no longer exist." Big dreams are rare. Most people experience only a few in their lifetime. The dreams that most frequently populate our sleep are what Jung called compensatory dreams. The function of such dreams is to compensate for or correct imbalances, errors, deviations, or other deficiencies in our conscious attitude. When consciousness distances itself from reality and rejects life's tasks, dreams take on a compensatory function. Listening to them fosters an inner balance that integrates the shortcomings of consciousness, leading to greater wholeness. Some examples can clarify the nature of compensatory dreams. A man who fails to fulfill his duties as a father may dream that his children hate him, to make him aware that he is avoiding one of life's most essential tasks. A woman overly identified with her social persona may dream of committing crimes or immoral acts to make her aware of the shadow, that is, the dark, unconscious side of her personality, which she must integrate to become more complete. A man who, in middle age, is still dependent on his parents may dream of himself as a helpless child, or of being suffocated, to understand the danger of his lack of independence. The compensatory function of dreams is a valuable aid, Jung explains. Compensatory dreams illuminate the patient's condition in a way that is extremely beneficial to their health. They bring back memories, insights, and experiences. They awaken latent personality qualities and reveal the unconscious element present in relationships. It's rare that someone, after seriously working on their dreams, doesn't find them enriching and broadening their mental horizons. However, if dreams are meaningful messages sent by the unconscious, why are they so difficult to interpret? Why doesn't the unconscious convey these contents to us in a form more accessible to consciousness? While the conscious mind is capable of logic and rationality, the unconscious is by nature irrational. It doesn't operate according to the laws of logical thought and communicates primarily through symbols, not words. Just as a plant produces its flowers, so the psyche produces its symbols. Every dream bears witness to this, Jung claimed. The fact that the conscious and unconscious speak two different languages explains the enigmatic nature of dreams. However, just because we don't fully understand the meaning of dream symbols doesn't mean they don't influence us. Just as fairy tales, myths, religious doctrines, and rituals have shaped human beings for millennia without needing to be rationally understood, dreams can guide our lives even if their language eludes us. Jung wrote in the Red Book that dreams guide our lives even if we don't understand their language. He added that, even if they aren't interpreted, they remain effective. Many things work without needing to be understood. There is no doubt, however, that we can amplify its effect by understanding it, and it is often necessary to do so, since the voice of the unconscious is easily unheard. To understand dreams and enhance their effectiveness, we should cultivate the habit of writing them down immediately upon awakening, as dream memory fades rapidly with the onset of the day. When we encounter a dream we find particularly meaningful, we can resort to what Jung called dream amplification. Amplifying a dream means reflecting on it, connecting ideas and memories that connect with it. It can mean letting your intuition flow, questioning its meaning, or wondering if it indicates a neglected task or an inadequate attitude toward life. In the case of a big dream, amplification is aided by knowledge of mythology and religion, as such dreams often contain recurring symbols and motifs found across religious cultures and myths. We know we've achieved a correct dream interpretation when, in Jung's words, the interpretation clicks. That is, when we feel it captures reality with absolute precision, and we understand we're on the right track. Marie-Louise von Franz, developing Jung's method, claimed that Jung didn't interpret dreams by immediately developing a clear meaning, but rather carried them with him, internalized them, and questioned them. If he encountered something in a book or in life that reminded him of a dream image, he connected it to that image, thus developing an increasingly rich and complex web of ideas. By paying closer attention to dreams and their interpretation, we can find a remedy for many of the ills of modern society. Jung believed that much of our collective ills stemmed from the rift between the conscious and the unconscious. Modern man has lost touch with the primal instincts and ancestral wisdom that have sustained humanity for millennia. Dreams thus take on a vital role. By listening to them, it is possible to reconnect with these roots and recover inner resources useful for addressing the instability of today's society. As Jung explains, dreams are impartial and spontaneous products of the unconscious psyche, not subject to will. They are pure nature. They show us the unaltered natural truth and are therefore, more than anything else, capable of restoring our attitude in harmony with our human essence when consciousness has strayed too far from its foundations and finds itself at a dead end.